Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Break the Ice. And if you have never seen a man shit himself before, then you are about to, because this is the case of Stephen McDaniel and the murder of Lauren Giddings. Now, Stephen McDaniel murdered Lauren Giddings and dismembered her body. And he found out that her torso had been found in a bin, and he found this out while he was live talking to the local news.
Howdy.
Had you seen anything there?
I first found out about this case from the channel True Crime Loser. It's a brilliant true crime channel with a great host. So I'm going to link that channel down below. So Stephen McDaniel, he lived next door to Lauren Giddings, and I believe that he asked Lauren out on a date and she declined him, and he took the psychotic next steps that he did. Now, Lauren was reported missing on June the 30th, 2011. And no one knew where she was. Friends didn't know. People on campus didn't know. Parents didn't know. Nobody knew where she was. And what's so interesting about this is that Stephen McDaniel, Sideshow Bob, he decided to talk to the media, as a lot of perpetrators tend to do. They want to get close to, they talk to the cameras, they put themselves front and centre. You've seen it with Ian Huntley, Shanann Matthews' mother, inverted commas, mother. It happens, and it happened, Stuart Hazel as well, actually. And it happened here with Stephen McDaniel. So what he did is he murdered Lauren Giddings and dismembered her body, and he put a torso in a bin. And luckily that day they were late and the bins didn't get collected, and he wasn't aware of this. And he's there talking to the media, and he speaks really well, comes across really well. They always do though, don't they? And he's saying how personable she is.
What kind of person was she? I mean, what did you see?
I mean, she's as nice as can be. I mean, very personable, very much a people person.
But what is absolutely crazy about this is that when he was speaking to the media, speaking to this particular news channel, he thought this torso was long gone, with the bins gone. So he's there talking, chatting away. And then the news reporter says about the torso being found, "You have never seen a man shit himself as much as Stephen McDaniel." She says something about a body being found, and he goes, "Body? White as a ghost." What, you see the blood drain from his face. It looks like he's about to faint. And then he takes himself off and he goes and sits down.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Howdy.
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's why we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
I think originally I think the reporters actually spoken and said she didn't know if he was sitting down because he was so shocked that his friend has potentially been discovered and she's dead. But we now know that it's because you've been busted. Okay, right there and then, you can't prove it's him. But we know that she's been murdered, and those close by are going to be investigated. And it's a viral video of him getting busted on camera. You rarely see something like that. You see a lot of people though, don't you? Like I said, talking to the cameras, and like for me, with like Stuart Hazel and the murder of Tia Sharp, he just looked guilty to me. Chris Watts' behaviour was guilty, but he didn't look like a killer. Strange one. But you rarely walk around, murderers rarely walk around with murderer. Scratch my head then. With murderer written across the forehead. But Chris Watts didn't look like a killer. What does a murderer look like anyway? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, anyway, so he sits down. He's just found out that the body the torso never got took away with the bins. So I bet he absolutely hates the local council who take the bins. But thank God that they were late. He voluntarily went to the police station and he was interrogated for 12 hours. And I mean, you know what, like, this guy is a murderer and this guy is an absolute psychopath and sociopath and acted quite normal before he found out about the torso. I'll tell you what, if you ever want lessons in how to not give anything away in an interrogation, look no further than Stephen McDaniel. He just sits there like this going, he's being asked questions and he goes, I don't know.
Why is it that everything that we get from you is yes, no, or I don't know?
I don't know.
What happened, Stephen? What happened? I don't know. He doesn't even move. He sat there like this for ages. I don't know. And it's a very southern American kind of accent, and the officer's going, the hair was there, Stephen. The hair was there. So one of his Sideshow Bob hairs was there.
What are you going to say tomorrow when I say we got your hair? Your hair is there. Your hair is there, man.
Why is it there? I don't know. I think he must have said I don't know hundreds and hundreds of times. And he would not crack. But they're saying to him, you were so talkative to the media. You wouldn't shut up with the media. And now you sat here with us. And it's, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And it went on and on and on and on and on. The hair was there, Stephen. The hair was there. So after 12 hours of interrogation and saying, I don't know.
I don't know.
The police decided to search his apartment. I think they had a pretty good whiff that he may be involved in this. And they searched his apartment and they found several bits of evidence, including the hacksaw that he used to dismember a body. Also as well, something that was big evidence in this case was they found video recording, and he would lift his camera and basically record through her window. So it's safe to say that he did have a big infatuation with Lauren. She parred him off. She wasn't interested in this creepy guy. And so he'd film her, you know, through the apartment. So that's what he did. He filmed her on the same day that he murdered her. And who knows what happened when he entered that apartment and killed her. But you don't have to be a rocket scientist to work out. He had an infatuation with her. He asked her on a date. She said no. He recorded her through her window. And then he went in, and I don't need to spell it out, do I? I think he did what he did. And then murdered her. How, in the name of all things sacred, can you take a hacksaw and go through someone's body? I mean, it's madness, isn't it? Doing the murder is one thing, but then to be able to, because it was the torso, they found the torso in the bin. By the way, the rest of Lauren's body has never ever been found, ever. Poor parents, poor family, they didn't get to bury her. It's not even worth talking about, really, is it? But they had a torso. Who knows what he did to her? The fear that she must have felt when he entered that room and she saw him, and what he did to her. If he's capable of murdering and then dismembering her, who knows what she went through? So poor Lauren Giddings. Well, thank God that the bins were late to be taken away. Because that's what That's when he found out that she'd been murdered. So in 2014, he accepted a plea deal where he pleaded guilty to the murder. Now his plea deal required him to describe the account of the murder, because obviously they didn't really know. If you've only got a torso, you don't know what's really happened. Whether he told the truth or not, I don't know, but that was part of the plea deal. In exchange for that plea deal, he was given a life sentence and spared the death penalty. In 2018, his father started a GoFundMe for an appeal. He'd admitted to murder. He explained. He'd gone through the account of what had happened for this plea deal. And you've got his dad doing a GoFundMe to get an appeal. Talk about being in denial. Your son's a cold-blooded murderer. Some parents will never accept that, though. You've got Chris Watts, haven't you? Like, Cindy. I don't think that Cindy Watts will ever believe that Chris Watts killed Shanann, Bella, Celeste and Nico. I don't think she'll ever believe it. As a parent, I can kind of get it, but like, if the evidence is mounted and there's confessions, you've got to suck it up and accept it, sadly. So McDaniel is incarcerated at Hancock State Prison, where he will spend the rest of his miserable life. I wanted to cover this case, which it's quite old, you know, it's 2011, but some of you may not have heard about it. And when I first saw it on the True Crime Loser channel and first learned about this case, what really got people's attention was that clip of him, you know, being the friend, being the person that wants to help the investigation. He spoke so well. He's given his own theories, like...
The only thing we can think is that maybe she went out running and someone snatched her.
But you do see this theme a lot, don't you, of perpetrators talking to the camera. So I think we need to, in the true crime community, we need to keep an eye out for that a lot more, I think. I'm going to link the video down below to when he's talking to the media, when he, you know, when the moment happens, when he goes from, she was so personable, like, you know, she was a well-liked girl, etc., to a baddie. And then he nearly passes out and goes as white as a ghost. So that is a case of Steve McDaniel and the murder of Lauren Giddings. A crazy, psychotic guy that had an infatuation with a beautiful young lady that wasn't interested in him. So you just move on and you try the next person that you fancy. You don't start setting up surveillance outside where they live and enter their apartment, do what you do, murder them and dismember them, and then sit inside an interrogation room. Oh yeah, and then go and speak to the media, and then sit inside an interrogation room for 12 hours saying, I don't know. Sorry, he didn't only say that. He did sometimes say like, yes, no, and I don't know.
You never had another car besides that jail prison. No. So if I call your granddaddy, he's gonna tell me that you only have one car. Yes. What's his phone number? I don't know.
He was a law student. He was a student of the law. Well, everything that he learned, he threw that out the window, didn't he, with what he did. Yeah, check it out. I'll put that down below. I'll put a link to True Crime Loser. I'm glad that the bin people were late that day and that he got caught, because without that torso, it could just be a missing woman forever and ever, you know, and he would have got away with it. He probably would have done it again. You know what I mean? It's quite likely he would have done it again. So thank God for the bin men being late that day. They cannot know how valuable that was at the time. Sometimes being late pays off. Can you imagine though? What he must have felt like when he talked. I bet in his mind, he's thinking, I'm sounding good here. I'm sounding good. Like Chris Watts thought he was sounding good, but he was digging. Yeah, I'm sounding great here. And then you get told that torso has been found in a bin. You know that you put it there. And it's caught on camera. That's why this one's fascinating. Rest in peace to Lauren Giddings, of course. Rot in hell, Stephen McDaniel. Check out the links below. Before I go, I would like to do a shout out to all of my members. So let's get the old windows on. Okay, so shout out to Stephen Knight, Mr. Coddy Wample, Highly Unlikely, Arts and Crafts Lady, Lil Miss Sunshine, Mrs. Skeptical, Taking the Pish, Nobed, she knows what I'm on about, Ms. Tree, Teresa Green, no, she's just called Teresa, Connie, Rachel Scruffy Cave Girl, Michelle, just on Michelle, a couple went to a fancy dress and the guy had his missus on his back and someone went, what have you come as? And he went, a tortoise. Well, who's she on your back? That's Michelle. Sorry. Kaz, Silvio Diaz Garcia, Maddie Mac, Patricia G, Intuitive 369, Getting Sticky, Stephanie B, D20 Jenny, the OG, Amanda Roberts, Jessica S, Rustic Rach, YDNA, that's Andy backwards, and Julie Ross. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you for being members. I appreciate the support. So, that was a case of Stephen McDaniel and the murder of Lauren Giddings. Have a great day, everybody. And as always, peace out.